So, how did these ancient astronauts look? Here, you can see them. Yes, they have elongated skulls and don't look human. Humans do not have such large heads. But what are they doing? Are they holding a pig in their hands? Above, you can see something even more crazy. We can see another being with elongated skull, but it is holding a baby. This is a crazy detail. What is going on here? Were aliens genetically modifying human beings? Were these beings experimenting with babies and animals? Is this why we saw carvings of a baby along with the placenta and the depiction of how life gets created along with the umbilical cord? More importantly, is this how ancient astronauts looked? Did they have elongated skulls? Above, there are two more figures whose faces are heavily disfigured. Again, they appear to have elongated heads. But what if ancient builders were merely imagining these beings with elongated skulls, right? Wrong. Archaeologists have found actual elongated skulls buried in several ancient sites. For example, in Peru, they have not found one or two, they have found a lot of them. This is the regular human skull, and this is the elongated skull. I mean, this is bizarre. Other ancient civilizations also mention elongated skulls. This is an ancient statue in Egypt showing the god king Akhenaten or his descendant. See how long that skull is? So these carvings in this Indonesian temple are not coming out of imagination. Look at it. These skulls are very large and elongated. Look at this being in the center. This is a giant head. There is no way human heads look like this. And look, he has something even more crazy. He has a fake beard attached to his face. This is not how a real beard looks. Why does he have a fake beard? Do you know Egyptian god kings not only had elongated skulls, but also wore fake beards? This was a custom in ancient Egypt to wear a fake beard. But why do we see it in this carving thousands of miles away in Indonesia? This temple is definitely connected to ancient pyramids. Look at this figure on the far right. It is not only his elongated head, even his face. This is not how human faces look. It is sharp and pointy. He is clearly something else. And this figure too, this head is not normal. It is definitely elongated. Don't tell me they're helmets. Look at the carvings nearby. These are helmets, but these are not. Most of the figures carved here have elongated skulls. Does their elongated skulls confirm that these are aliens? What if they were just humans who practiced cranial deformation like the Mangbetu tribes of Africa? Did they have some other physical feature that is different from humans? I discovered something nobody knows about. These aliens had holes in their skulls. Look at this figure. You see this hole? His earlobe is here and his earring is hanging from the earlobe. But we can see a hole here above the earlobe on the skull. Maybe you think it's just a sculpting mistake, right? No, look at the next figure. You see this? There is a hole above his earlobe. Humans do not have this hole above their earlobe. And these beings had this physical feature, reminding us of reptiles. Reptiles have a hole exactly at this location. And look at his skull. It is definitely elongated, right? Now, I don't want you to think I'm cherry picking the carvings to support this idea. So let's go back to the previous carvings I showed you. Remember these three figures with elongated skulls? You can see the holes drilled on their skulls above their ears. These are not their ear holes, okay? So ancient builders are clearly telling us that these are not human. They had different physical features than human beings. This is why they have painstakingly drilled these holes on their skulls to show that each one had a hole in their skull. But there's one more detail you have missed, believe it or not. There's not just one hole in every alien's body. There's one more hole. I've shown you this figure many times already, but look carefully. Where is the other hole? Did you find it? It is right next to this hole. Again, going into the skull, but on the other side, behind the earlobe. So this categorically proves that these are not humans. Even if you thought it was the ear hole, how do you explain two holes? Again, it's not just found in one carving. This detail is found in all the figures with elongated skulls. Actually, these beings had two holes on the left side and two more holes on the right side, meaning these extraterrestrials had 4 holes in their elongated skulls, just like they had 4 testicles. All these physical features, the elongated skulls, the holes, and their 4 testicles, prove that they were not human, but ancient astronauts who came from the sky wearing helmets and boots. But what were these ancient astronauts doing on Earth? What is the meaning of this locked carving, which shows the union of male and female energy? Why was it surrounded by the umbilical cord? And why did we see a baby carved nearby? Was it a human baby or was it an alien? Let's take a closer look at the carving. Yes, there, exactly above the ear. You see that? It's not a human baby. We already noticed that it had an elongated head and elongated fingers, but we did not notice that it had holes in the skull. Was this an extraterrestrial or was it a genetically modified baby? Were aliens genetically modifying humans? Is this why we see an extraterrestrial with elongated skull holding a baby? Or ancient builders trying to tell us that ancient aliens were genetically modifying humans? If this is true, by the same logic, the carving below shows 2 aliens holding a pig. Does it mean that these aliens were genetically modifying animals like pigs? Yes, that's exactly what we're going to see now. This carving shows a pig. At least at first glance, you think it is a pig, but then you will notice it has horns like a cow. Pigs don't have horns, so is it a genetically modified pig? Is it a hybrid of a pig and cow? Pigs don't have tails like this. Pigs have short, twisted tails. So this is definitely the tail of a cow. But the face, the blunt, flat snout, definitely reminds us of a pig. You can even see these teeth coming out, like the teeth of wild boars. But look, there is a seat on top and you can see a bell tied to its neck. This means that it was not a wild animal found in nature. If the sculptor had seen such an animal in nature, he would not have carved the seat and the bell. This was kept in a cage or was kept indoors. Is it even possible to create a hybrid between a pig and cow? Such a hybrid cannot happen in nature, right? Because these animals don't belong to the same species, genus, or even the family. But such a hybrid can be created in labs. Forget cows. Scientists have now made a human hybrid with a pig. That's right, they have successfully created a pig-human hybrid. So you can definitely make a pig-cow hybrid in a lab. Did ancient astronauts make such genetic modifications to animals? Is this why we see two figures with elongated skulls holding a pig? But what about this genetically modified species? But this is just an elephant, right? No, look at its tusks. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 tusks, not 2 like normal elephants. You can clearly see 2 tusks carved on this side and 2 tusks carved on the other side. So there is no doubt that this is a 4-tusked elephant. Again, we can see that it's heavily dressed up with belts and straps. That means it was kept indoors. The sculptor is clearly indicating that this was not a wild animal and was possibly created in a lab through genetic modification. Now, you can ask, Praveen, is it possible that the pig-cow hybrid and the 4-tusked elephant all just came out of the imagination of a sculptor? Artists exaggerate, enhance, and combine two things because they are creative people. Just because some artists merge spaghetti and a monster doesn't mean that flying spaghetti monsters exist, right? This is certainly possible in some cases, but with the 4-tusked elephant, experts have found an entire skeleton with 4 tusks in the same island where this temple is. And this skeleton is displayed in the Museum of Bandung, which is only 300 miles from this temple. Around the world, experts have unearthed entire skeletons of these 4-tusked elephants called gomphothirs and their cousins. I made a video 3 years ago showing a 4-tusked elephant in Angkor Wat Temple in Cambodia. At that time, scientists were saying this 4-tusked species became extinct 2 million years ago. Now, experts have found humans coexisted with these 4-tuskers, and they say they only went extinct 12,000 years ago. In just 3 years, see how much the timeline has changed. People who believe in strict models of science and evolution get upset when we question if these ancient carvings were based on reality. But a real scientist must have an open mind and understand that we may find newer and newer evidences that can completely reverse our current theories. So, we do have solid skeletal and fossil evidence that these 4-tusked elephants are not spaghetti monsters. They're not just coming out of imagination. But this carving beats all the carvings you have seen so far. Yes, a pig Pig-Rhino Hybrid. Initially, you may think this is a rhino, but look at the snout. Rhinos have a well-rounded snout, but here you see a flat snout, just like a pig. In fact, if I remove the horn, you will now think this is just a pig. It even has a pig's body. But it also has the horn of a rhino and the long, straight tail like a rhino. Pigs have very short, twisted tails. So you can see how the Pig-Rhino Hybrid looks, with some features of the pig and some features of the rhino. And again, even in this carving, notice the straps indicating that these animals were kept indoors. They were not wild animals. Did ancient astronauts arrive on Earth and genetically modify animals? If not, why do we see two figures with elongated skulls holding a pig-like animal? Why do we see various hybrids like pig-cow, pig-rhino, and a four-tusked elephant? If these carvings came out of mere imagination, how do we explain the four-tusked skeleton found in the same island? Who are these figures depicted with elongated skulls? Were they extraterrestrials who came from a different planet? Why do ancient civilizations like Egypt show god kings with elongated skulls? And why do we find actual elongated skulls in ancient sites of Peru? If these figures with elongated skulls were human, why do they have holes in the skull which humans don't have? Are we humans a product of natural evolution? Or were we genetically modified by these ancient astronauts, just like how we genetically modify plants and animals today? By the way, did you notice that all of them were male animals? Why? The Candi Sukuh Temple is hiding even bigger secrets, and I will reveal them in the next video. Bye.